girl LaTonia Monroe Naylor, your mission-rich business consultant, here with another Tea and Talk Tuesday. Y'all, I got another mug for you on today, because y'all know I love my mugs. You can't have your tea without a nice mug. You can't just put any tea into any kind of mug. And this one I love is from somebody that I love dearly, and she gave this to me, and it was faith over fear. And she said, that's how I see you. I see you as somebody who always exemplifies faith over fear. And so on today, we're going to talk about why it's important, because in order to do what we're going to talk about today, which is grow with intention, you got to scale. You understand what I'm saying? Scale without compromise. And in order to do that, there's some preset values that you have to have on the inside. And so we're going to talk about what some of those challenges are, and why people talk about the challenges of being able to grow with who they are, being authentic to who they are. Some of the things that I've heard from people is, we're doing a lot, but I'm not sure if we're doing it well. They say, I'm burning out trying to grow this thing all by myself. I feel like I'm winging it. There's no real plan for what's next. I know a lot of y'all feel that way, especially now in this hustle culture. Everybody's just trying to move fast and do things fast, but you want to make sure that you know what's next, right? And the last thing is, I want to expand, but I don't want to lose the heart of what we started. So, these are the things that people have challenges with when they're starting to grow. And we're going to talk about that today, because it's very important that when we grow a business, especially a mission-rich focused business like a nonprofit organization, that we are remembering why we started in the first place, and we're staying true to who we are as we continue to grow and expand and access funding. So the first thing that I want to say to you is, know the difference between programs and deeper impact. Know the difference between programs and deeper impact. So when I say that to you, a lot of people are like, well, doing programs creates impact, right? Wrong. Doing a program does not mean that you're automatically going to have impact. What it takes to really make sure that you have a program that's going to have impact is to make sure that you're using a proven model. Okay? What model are you using that proves that what you are doing will work? And how do you verify? What is your process for verifying that you actually have impact? And if you don't have the impact that you say that you will or that you want it to have, what is your continuous improvement plan so that you can always do better and impact more the people that you know that you're targeting, or not just people, the issues that you're targeting? Because sometimes we're not necessarily looking to benefit a specific person, but we're looking to target a specific issue or concern or deficit in society that we believe we're called to address. The next thing is audit your systems before expanding. Why am I saying that you need to audit your systems before expanding? Because first of all, most people don't audit anything. They just keep it moving. Like I said, there's a hustle culture. People are like, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. They have the whole year planned out in their head, not really on paper. It's in their mind. In their mind, they're going to make $1 million. In their mind, they're going to work 24 hours to make sure they make that $1 million. But then when they actually look, they only made $50. I'm joking with y'all. I know you can take a joke. I know you chuckled at that because it was probably you that I was talking to. And guess what? I'm talking to me too, because I've been there. I've done that. This is why I can tell you. Do not just expand without auditing your systems. What does audit mean? Go back and review. Do a deep dive. Understand that at every level, you are going to have to assess whether or not what you're doing works, whether or not what you're doing is cost effective, whether or not you have identified ways to do it better, being more efficient. Case in point, AI. I talk about AI like every episode these days. Why? Because AI is everywhere. But let me tell you why I talk about AI in this circumstance. I don't hate AI. As a matter of fact, I use AI. I leverage it. But let me tell you a secret. If AI is the master of your thinking and your strategy, then you are not using it properly. This is when you know that you need an expert to come in and help you, because the AI shouldn't be doing the thinking for you. You should be able to contribute to the AI for it to create solutions. And if you know that's not what you're doing, you're not an expert grant writer, you're not an expert nonprofit management person, bring in somebody that is to help you. There's no shame in your game. As a matter of fact, I learned from a coach. Let me tell you, this coach, he make what I want to make. Okay, when I talk about he make what I want to make, he's multi-million-dollar budget, right? He has a multi-million-dollar budget. And he said, the cheat code for you to be able to be successful is to get a coach who's already done it. Because now you're learning what they have learned in a very long time, in a very short time. Yes, there's an investment expected for that, but I guarantee you the investment that they're going to give you, that you're expected to give them to be able to do that, is not near the investment that they put in to get the information and the knowledge that they have. Okay? So I said that to say to you is that you have to be able to look through what you're doing. You have to be able to look at how you're raising your money, how you're spending your money, how you're investing your money. And I say your because if you're starting out, a lot of this is coming out of your pocket. But at some point, you're supposed to be able to transfer to a place where other people are funding your projects. And you're not going to get a place where it happens sustainably if you are not conscious of what you are doing as you're doing it in your systems that you have in place. So just let me wrap this section up by saying you want to make sure that you're looking at how your finances, your financial systems, your governance systems, how are you managing your business or your organization? You want to think about what your staffing looks like. How are you managing your staff or the task? If it's just you by yourself, how are you managing yourself so that you're not going to be burning out, which is going to move into the next conversation, right? Because if you're not careful, you're going to burn yourself out and you're no good to anybody because your brain is burnt out. Your creative thinking, the thing that drove you in the beginning, is done. So you have to find a way to be able to delegate, to give some of the decision making to other people to support you and undergird your vision. And there's a whole lot with that. And I'm not telling you just to start now and just go pick a team. I'm telling you to be very intentional that as you do whatever it takes for you to elevate, that you are careful to invite wisdom in from people who know that area, whether it's financial systems, whether it's legal stuff, whether it's accounting things, whether it's management, whether it's if you want to buy a property, real estate, all of those things require a level of expertise. And if you do not have it and you are trying to figure it out, you are wasting time and money that you can be making for your organization, okay? Now, the next thing is build partnerships, not just presence. Now, why is this important? Why is it important for you to build partnerships and not just presence? Well, I just told you a little bit in the last conversation, right? In the last tip. You want to make sure you're not having to do this all alone. Because there's certain things that you are doing when you perfect what it is that you do and why you have the mission that you have and what it is that you are supposed to do and what it is you are called to do. You're not going to be trying to do everything because you know you cannot do everything and be effective. So that's where partnerships are important. Being able to leverage in and have somebody in place that is going to be able to support the stuff that you can't do, the stuff that you won't do, the stuff that you don't know how to do. That is where partnerships come in. Oh, and by the way, partnerships level the amount of conversation that you can have. Partnerships level the ability for you to be able to learn things that you don't know. Oh, last but not least, partnerships allow you to get in doors that you never would have been invited to. When you have a good, strong partnership, you're true to your mission, and people know they can trust you, that you're not going to try to infiltrate what they're doing, and they start to trust and believe in what you're doing, they will pull you in. Look, we have this grant, $1 million grant we're doing. We would love for you to be a part of this. That's how my organization really started to make traction, because we had a bigger organization, a bigger funder that came in place and said, hey, we have this multi-million-dollar project and we need somebody with this aspect, this focus, and this is exactly what you all do. So if you can come in, we'll give you this amount of money to do this that you already do. And that allowed us to have partnerships with reputable organizations that are known across the country. And that started to pace us for the access to larger funding. Okay, so this is why you're not doing it just for the money, obviously, because if you care about the mission, it's not just about the money, but you also understand this is part of your strategy, right, for you to get where you need to be. Last but not least, this is the part where you are able to not compromise who you are, right? Not just not compromising your mission and chasing after money and doing all these other things that you shouldn't be doing if you're focused on what it is that you believe you were called to do. And you have the data to support why you need to do it. There's also this element of retaining your value. What is your value? Not just value like what you bring to the table, not just your value as far as your experiential knowledge and your expertise that you bring to the table, but your values, add that S, your values. What are the things that are non-negotiables for you? What are the things that are non-negotiables for you? Because if you don't know what those things are, you can get sucked into environments, sucked into partnerships, sucked into just different business deals that are probably not good for you, that are probably not healthy for your organization or your long-term sustainability. We've seen it. We've watched Facebook Reels or news articles where they pop up and tell us about some entity that got caught up in some scandal. We don't want to be the scandal, and we don't want to be a part of the scandal, especially if that's not what you were created to do. If you are a mission-rich person, then that means that you are in this for the ability to create longevity, impact, and sustainability. Not just for you, but for the people around you that you want to impact, right? Not just the target demographic that you want to change, but also the people around you that you are leading, that you are showing that this is possible because you're doing it, right? So maintain those values. What are the things that are most important to you? Is it your faith? Is it your family? Is it your marriage? Is it, what are the things that you value that you're not willing to sacrifice? And the reason why I say that is because if you are willing to sacrifice all those things to chase dollars, then you're not mission rich. Don't even fool yourself into believing you're mission rich, because you're not. If the things that are most important to you and the people that are most important to you are secondary to this thing that you're doing, then you are not mission rich, because the mission should never supersede the value of the things that you have that you hold close to you. Okay? And if you're that person, then you probably wouldn't want to work with me, because I'm not going to give you a strategy that's going to only focus on how do you make extra zeros. I'm always going to think about how do you make extra zeros, but continue to have balance, be fulfilled, have harmony. How do you make sure that you're there when your kids graduate? That you're there for that 20th year anniversary? That you're there to celebrate that graduation, that college graduation, not just high school, right? That you're there for the proms, that you're there for the field trips, for the family events, for the family meetings, that you're there for the things that matter to you, not just the extra zeros, because you can't take the extra zeros with you. Matter of fact, I remember somebody saying one day, they've never put U-Hauls in the back of a hearse. You know why? Because you can't take anything with you. So why is it that we're so focused on the thing that adds zeros instead of the thing that's most important to us? And if that's you, I apologize. I'm not your girl. I can give you information, but I'm probably not the one to help you. But if you are concerned about wanting to make sure there's longevity, there's mission, there's impact, then I am absolutely the one to tell you hands down, do not grow any kind of way, chasing any kind of opportunity. Grow with intention, with strategy, and do not compromise your values. So I thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you again on this week, this Tea and Talk Tuesday. I know that I said something that helped you today, because I help myself. I always say, look, if you can help yourself, teaching yourself something new as you're talking and you're learning and you're reminiscing and remembering what you went through to get where you are, how you were able to get to a place where you've helped organizations attain over $6 million in resources, then I absolutely want to encourage you that there's still more that you can do. There's still ways that you can continue to grow and do it with intentionality and not compromise your values. God bless you.